5. Today I'll start off by talking about two builds. One being Stomp that we've come to love and known. The other being Dive Frenzy, which quite a few hunters have been trying out and doing pretty good passes with on Warcraft logs. So to start with, I'll be going into Stomp and just clearing over some things that I might have messed up in my last video. But essentially, this is a talent build you want to really run with now. Aspect of the Beast isn't it isn't as good as Killer Cobra unless you're running the boots. Killer Cobra, it's showing its shininess again. Really good because with the Force set, you want to be doing more kill commands, because it does more damage and you proc your Aspect of the Wild more earlier. Now, so that's a talent out of the way for Stomp. Going into gear. Now, pretty much your 3 or 4 best tier pieces going into this are your shoulders, because it gives crit haste, your gloves, which give crit haste, and your pants, which give crit mastery. Now, the fourth one you can go with is probably cape or chest. Both give verse and mastery. And your haste, you don't, and your helm you don't really go with, just because, well, you could go with it, but it just really depends. But yeah, generally just get your shoulders, gloves, pants, and then find your fourth one there. For your 2 off pieces, what some people do is they go with high Titan Forges. Other people, like myself, I usually run Parcel's Tongue. Going into legendaries now, Parcel's Tongue, the Soul Hunter Ring, Sephu's Belt, Boots, Pradas, they're all good legendaries. So some people might sim better with Pradas and Parcels, but just really depends on your stat weights. Speaking of stat weights, the haste caps for BM Hunters are 23% and 32. So if you need one of them caps, stay around it. If you're 32, stay, be like 33 or just above 32. And if you're 23, if you're say 27%, you can go for the 32, which I don't really recommend. But if you cut it down, if you take your haste enchants off or some of your haste gear and get around to 23, 24 haste, you can probably do a lot more DPS that way with just like more mastery, more crit enchants and gems. But yeah, crit. I don't know. I'm not too sure about the crit cap, but I know there's a 40% crit cap. And mastery is just mastery, straight flat damage. Yeah, so legendary is pretty much try it out. Parcel's Tongue you'll find is probably one of your best simming legendaries, just because your chest is your best piece to have, and it gives a lot of stats. 5k agility, 1200 haste, 1100 mastery. Whereas look at something like let's see, wrist. Wrist. Yeah. So wrist is like 700, 500. But yeah, Stomp build pretty much same as same. Again, some people start with Beast of Wrath, some people start with a Murder of Crows, but essentially you just weave it in. So Murder of Crows, Beast of Wrath, Kill Command, Die Beast times 2 or 3 depending on if you can get it, Titan's Thunder, Aspect of the Wild, Cobra Shot into Kill Command, and just repeat that. So it's just Kill Command, Cobra Shot. And every time you get a Die Beast proc, use it. But if it's the case of you have Kill Command and Die Beast up, just use Kill Command over Die Beast. You want to get as many Kill Commands in that as you can. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You use your A Matter of Crows and Titan's Thunder off cooldown, but if a Die Beast is up and Titan's Thunder is up, use Die Beast first and then use the Titan's Thunder for more damage. Just save like a second or two there if it's up. Because the more Die Beast you have, more damage you do. It's a really good burst too. As for AoE, it's pretty much the same. If there's 3 or more targets, use multi-shot only for the Beast Cleave effect. So let's Beast Cleave. Yeah. So pretty much it makes your pet's AoE once you've used multi-shot once, and just keep that buff up. So I'm going over here to show you what that looks like. So yeah, multi-shot once, I have Beast Cleave buff up there, and I just track that. Multi-shot again, and just use every other ability. If it's 5 or more targets, spam multi-shot then, and then just fill in with like dire beasts when you run out of energy and kill command every now and again. When you're doing fights like Portal Keeper or ENR, it's best to change from Emitter of Crows to Volley because you'll be doing add damage. Portal Keeper maybe not so much, but Antorous High Commander definitely. That's the same with if you're on a fight where you can interrupt an imp or trap an ad on Agrima, it's good to run Cephus because you gain the 30%, 25%. Where is it? 25% haste buff. Yeah, that's always good. So just keep an eye out for that. Yeah, generally speaking, parcels is always really good, but if you get a high Titan Force chest, look at running, like I said, the Soul Hunter Ring, Cephus, Pradas, belt boots, etc. Maybe even wrists. That's Stomp. Now, you may have seen a few new passes on Warcraft logs. Yeah. So people have been running the Dire Frenzy build, and I've been trying this out recently, and I pretty much keep up my DPS with Stomp, if maybe better, I'm not too sure. However, I'll go into it. So, there's different ways to build this. So with the Stomp build, you run like your full set, or you run whatever the hell you run, like depending on what you sim, right? 4 set plus 2 Titan Forges, or 4 set plus parcels and whatever else. But yeah, the Dire Frenzy build's a bit different. So, you still run full set, but you want to aim to use high Titan Forge or high item level gear from TOS. And even if you still can't get high item level TOS because no one does Pug Mythics or every heroic group sucks because they can't kill Mistress or something for some unknown reason. I know the reason, they all suck. You can still use high Titan Forge off pieces. But yeah, basically the Dire Frenzy build makes it so you want to focus around running the wrists. So you might have been on Warcraft logs and be like, whoa, people use wrists, and I'll see if I can just bring it up right here. I can't. Alrighty. Yeah, essentially, so wrist. And you might be thinking, well, doesn't the 4 set suck like everyone says? Yes, the 4 set sucks. However, with the buff we got 2 weeks ago, there's an added 0.5 reduced seconds to kill command off our 4 set. Which made people theorycraft, which made people sim, which made people think like, okay, we can use wrists, and if we use it with Convergence of Fates, we can get some pretty fast Aspect the Wilds off, and we do a lot of DPS with it. So essentially, I'll show you the build right now. Bit different, and yeah, you want to run 4 set Antorous and 2 set TOS if you can. If you can't, that's still fine. You can run high Titan Forges or whatever you want. I'd give this a sim if you can. And the second legendary you should be running. Now, you can use Parcel's Tongue. Parcel's Tongue is still really good. Yeah, I'd say sim it with Parcels, sim it with Pradas, or sim it with the Apex Ring. And don't laugh at me when I say this, but yeah, Apex Ring. It's pretty good sim with it. The 5% is actually pretty okay. This build is just... It's funny because like no one's used Dire Frenzy in a long time, and whenever you expect someone with Dire Frenzy, you're just like that noob, and you wonder yourself, who told them to run Dire Frenzy? And now it all makes sense. They've known all along about Dire Frenzy build. Nah, yeah, no. Apex Ring just works, and I'm about to show you how good it is. That said, let's get into it. So it's pretty much the same rotation, except a little different. You want to prioritize Titan Sunder over using Dire Frenzy, just because, well, you got no more beasts to really buff with Titan Sunder anymore, so it's just use it straight off the bat. But essentially, same rotation. Boom, kill command, Titan Sunder, 1 Dire Frenzy. I'm going to hold off, and I'm just going to use Aspect of the Wild. And we're going to use Dire Frenzy at the last possible second. Yeah, so we got 2 stacks. Yeah, you want to manage stacks in this build, and I'm probably just going to use it now so I don't lose another stack. That's my weak aura there if you're in the middle, if you can see it. So you basically want to keep 3 stacks. You want to keep stacks, but it's kind of difficult. But it doesn't really matter if you lose stacks. Again, you'll pick them up later in the fight when you get a proc or when there's heroism. Using Dire Frenzy at the last possible second to keep your 3 stacks is really awesome too. And yeah, my Aspect of Wild comes off really quickly. But that's essentially that. Just always using Dire Frenzy at the last possible second, or just using it in general. The DPS is there, but it's pretty much you still spam it, sort of. And yeah, that's the build. So far I've gotten a new pass on Grothy with this build, so it seems to work out. But yeah, instead of Shadow Singed Fang, you run Convert to Fates, and yeah, pretty much that. As for your 2 best Antorous pieces, probably like maybe the pants and maybe the cloak would be optimal. Pretty much the same as when you're running Nighthold tier sets. Like the cape is always easy to upgrade because it gives like one of the lowest stats out of any piece, and then legs is probably second to that. I don't have good legs, but I do have a okay helm, so yeah. As for that, guys, yeah, just yeah, if you have any tips or any questions, feel free to ask me, and that'll probably be it for this guide. Thanks for watching, and yeah, laters.